Oh, what a day! What a lovely day!
Welcome to Flat Earth Debate After Show. I'm your host Nathan Oakley, and if you're new to the channel or you've not done so already, then be sure to subscribe and hit the bell notification icon to keep up to date with all the Flat Earth Debate pre-show and after-show goodness. If you'd like to support the channel, there is a super chat that runs alongside each of these shows while they premiere. There's also a PayPal, Patreon and crypto link in the info box below the video. Now, the first live show has ended, and unfortunately I pressed the end record button, so hence we've actually got a proper introduction to this particular after show, but I will pass over to the Discord and Google Plus Hangout so you can enjoy their dulcet tones.
So psychotic, is that a no-go for you guys?
I'm just trying to change the subject, Arvin.
Yeah, I know, but I want an answer to the question.
I would say it is a no-go to completely label someone as a psychotic without having sat down and known them for a while and know their medical history, things like that. But you could say you are acting psychotic based on the way you're talking to me at the moment. Like if, say, someone was talking to me, they come across psychotic, I'd say, man, you're sounding a bit unstable at the moment. You're coming across a bit psychotic, but I wouldn't say you are psychotic.
Right.
Can I ask a question?
Okay, I agree to that, but I want to respond to that. So what if somebody then proceeds to do that again and again, and every day you see them, they're doing it again?
Can I ask everyone a question?
How do you regard them then?
What is your motivation for doing it publicly, Arwen? On your show or on this show? Why not go to that person individually? What is the purpose?
To deflect him, because I don't want any association with him. And I'm kind of sorry that I had that first hangout with him. I feel like he is out of it. And I feel the energy of it rubbing off on me every time he even talks to me. It's disgusting. Sorry, it's just energy thing.
Oh, come on, Nathan.
You forgot to put it on mute, didn't you?
I did put it on mute earlier. I just took it off mute at the end of the show. I cocked at the end of the show. I made a whole balls of it. So I do the whole outro thing where I say, stay tuned if you're watching on Nathan Oakley premiering stream, right? And then I ended the show and I accidentally pressed both record and live buttons at the same time. So it ended the recording. So then I had to stick the hangout on mute, do another intro, start a separate after show, and then take you off mute. And of course, by then I'd fiddled with all the lines and closed them after after closing them.
QE has entered the building. QE is in the building.
Oh, that was great.
Yo.
That was so funny.
Almost getting like his
Hey
own
guys,
thing.
I've got to head off, but yeah, it was good talking to you all. Take it easy.
Good night. Get some good sleep.
Please don't take what I was saying as an attack to you, man. I was just saying. That's all.
I will take it as an attack, you bastard. No, that was a joke.
I know, man. I know.
I know,
Right,
but
see you
for the
later.
people out there that wouldn't get that and would then proceed to think that that was actually real.
I can't believe you just called him a bastard. That's really bad, aren't we?
Whatever. You're not gonna get away with it twice.
My feelings are hurt. I'm going because my feelings are
Damn
hurt.
you! Damn you! We're gonna fight over this every day now.
It's actually a no-brainer.
No, but look, I'm even thinking about, okay, maybe just for you guys, because I love you guys so much, I'll just call him a continually psychotic behaving person. How about
Perfect.
that?
That's
How about
fine.
you don't call him anything?
But that was going to be
Well,
my
I'm
question.
fine with
Ranty.
that. I'd love to completely not talk about him anymore. But if he keeps on basically trolling me in my chats and starts making videos about this now, it's going to be very difficult not to.
It's easy. There's 3 little buttons on the right, and one of them says ignore. Dead easy.
Why are you having this conversation with him in the first place? I mean, is it on topic? Is it about a flat Earth issue that you disagree on, or are you just attacking him personally because you don't like the way he behaves?
I brought it up in this case because he was on the same defense line yesterday with Schemo and David in this ridiculous argument. And that to me is yet another sign that he just literally has no clue what the hell is going on. And he can read the feelings. Oh yeah. And I totally even said that on my own hangout. Like, this guy knows about feelings and he can describe it. He can even do, little community things. He can act like this. He does it okay. But when it comes to technical insight, guy just doesn't have a clue. He really doesn't. It's just has no grip. And it shows every time. And he defends people when he shouldn't. It's ridiculous.
And that makes him a psycho, does it?
No, not a psycho. That's not what I said. Not a psycho. That's very colloquial, by the way. But that makes him display psychotic behavior on a regular basis, because I think that's how he works. That's how he functions. That's how he is. That's what I get to see every time. That's it. And I don't want to elaborate on that any further because it's already too much time spent on this.
Guys, are we at the after show now?
Yeah, I think Jado
Yes.
might have something to say.
We're going through housekeeping again?
No.
No.
Right.
I mean, you can if you want. I mean, don't let me stand in your way.
You know what? I think I can find a middle road here. I'll just apologize for hurting Merle's feelings. Because that is kind of like something to apologize for.
That's honourable. That's nice. You didn't even say it in a Weasley, I'm sorry your feelings were hurt kind of way.
No, but I mean it. My analysis was never meant to hurt him. It's just a natural consequence. That's why I said I try to keep that shit for myself as long as possible. When he then just gets all brazen in that behavior, then I can't see that and not point at it.
Are you saying it drives you crazy?
It's very aggravating having to endure that, yes.
That was a joke there.
I got it 10th, man. I saw the
I got it too.
I always get 10th man's jokes. He's very subtle sometimes with them.
I know.
Hey, I got
But
some
I gave him
pictures.
a lawyer answer.
I got some pictures of a natural phenomenon, Nathan, on Master B.
But you have to realize, Arwin, that if he did make a video, he's got so many reels of evidence of you acting exactly the same, if not probably far worse, on video. You know, he could really go after you if that was the case.
Well, let him try. Serious. Go.
Yeah, I'm not saying that he will, but I'm just saying, you know.
There's already troll people making the worst shit out of it, like these weird little moments, because I do act sometimes a little frolicky or whatever. And I do act like put on a silly scene, that kind of thing. Yeah, oh yeah, that's very easy to all tie in. Oh, look, he's crazy. Arwen's crazy. Because Arwen can act crazy, even when a little voice like that. You know, oh, Arwen's crazy because he can talk crazy. What's it worth? It's up to the people actually just watching me. You know, if he's going to make a crazy video about me, go ahead. That'll bring some people to my channel to see if that's actually real or if Merle's actually the one that's crazy and he's just being angry.
Well, anyway, let's change subject.
Any signs of blockheads on Discord?
I don't know. I don't hang around on Discord. The only time I spend in Discord is during this show. Once this show is over, I leave Discord and never go back.
Give a shout out to the 24/7 Discord server because I go there sometimes. It's pretty good.
Same here.
A lot of yeah, righteous. I know about you. Yeah, so it's a good server. It's on 24/7, so it's good business.
Some interesting arguments the ballers are like trying to make there nowadays. Like now I noticed two of them say, oh, we can't prove the cause of anything. They're just, I don't know, just muddying the waters now.
Or
Yeah, I have a question.
Haven't learned the scientific method.
I have a question.
Go ahead.
Have you guys addressed that video that Big Think did on Bill Nye, where he talks about how you can't leave the Earth and that it's a closed system?
We've discussed it once or twice.
It seems a bit out of context. It does? Like, the way people... Well, I watched the whole video. And they were talking about sending trash everywhere. They were sending trash into space. And he said, you can't leave. And there's nowhere to go. I don't want to, like, dig this back up. I was just wondering, because I had seen it, and I was like, what? Because I looked up what a closed system was. And I was like, well, that's interesting. Because he says...
Doesn't him saying that go against the whole narrative?
Yes, it does. It's a contradiction of their open system, where they can travel to Mars and the Moon and send out probes to the far reaches of the bullshit world they claim the vacuum of the sky is. But he's in direct defiance of that when he says Earth is a closed system. That's precisely what he does say. It doesn't make sense. Typically, the people like Bill Nye will toe the line in the same way Neil deGrasse Tyson was, even when it's awkward. So they'll Neil deGrasse Tyson will explain Coriolis exactly how it should be on a spinning Earth, even though we don't observe it. Well, Bill Nye should really be towing the line and talking about how it's an open system, but he doesn't. It doesn't make any sense. I understand why you bring it up. Why would their heliocentric bullshit priest be talking about a closed system? It doesn't tie in with their narrative at all.
Well, isn't that how the lawyers in the cross-examination spot and prove a liar? Because they have to hold two positions all the time. Because one, they have to say what's reality, in this case, about the crime scene and all this, and then the other lie about their involvement in it. So these guys are holding two positions rather than one. So they're going to
like a controlled opposition, sort of.
No. What I'm saying is that when you have two positions on one thing, you're going to be law of non-contradiction violation, double speak, and people saying, "Well, which one do you believe? Which one is the one? Which one?" Because you keep going back and forth, and this is who they are because they know what it really is. They're lying.
But doublespeak is how you like confuse people too, no? And that's all it takes. Exactly. For some.
Well, they have to resort to that. We don't have on the 7 housekeeping questions 2 positions. We don't have 2 positions on those 7 housekeeping questions. We got 1.
Right, and in that. The reason why I went and watched the video in context is because I saw it in an Odd Reality documentary. And I was like, wow, that's a really interesting thing of him to say. I'm going to go look at the real video so that I can make sure it's not just, faked or like they dubbed his voice or something. So I went and looked at it. And then in the documentary, it was followed by 2 more clips of... one of Chris Hadfield saying that we can't get out of low Earth orbit, which was another one. So I was like, oh geez, are they just going to start revealing it?
There's so many astronauts that have said that. So many.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I mean. I think they're just kind of revealing it, and they're just like, hey, we can't actually leave. Yeah. And we don't know how to anymore, and they have to like make up stuff to cover for the moon landing and all that.
You remember that Orion video?
No, I haven't seen that.
Yeah, you should see that because that's a whole little story about how they're going to try to get through the Van Allen belts, and they have to try to figure it out before they can send people through it, straight from NASA.
Oh,
I mean,
yeah.
if you listen to this thing,
actually. Yeah, I've seen that.
Right. Yeah, you've had to have seen it. It's out there, but it's like, come on, guys. If you listen to that, you would never think anybody went to the moon or anything like that. So it's like, what are we doing here? Which is it? Did we go? Did we just shoot through the Van Allen belts and everything was cool, or are we still trying to figure it out so we can send humans up there? Like, get it together, man.
It's like, right. And I just want to make sure that my understanding of closed systems is correct, because whenever I looked into it, it's basically that only certain types of energy can be transferred, but not mass. Is that correct?
That's one of the closed systems.
No, that's just a closed system. So yes, energy can transfer, but mass cannot.
And then there's another closed system where energy can't get transferred either, no?
Well, that's a theoretical idea that's used to describe things like the second law of thermodynamics. You know, you've got to oversimplify these things to describe them. So in the case, in that particular instance, they use something called an isolated system. Well, this is something that you won't experience in nature, but it's used to describe those laws in a more simplistic way. In the same way, you don't have any ideal gases, but you've got ideal gas law. But it's just a way of oversimplifying it, so it's more easy to understand. Simple as that.
All right, and before the point is lost, it seems like that Orion project video is almost like throwing the moon landing under the bus to keep the ISS afloat. Like, are you guys getting that?
Oh yeah, I got that.
Yeah,
because the moon landing aged so bad.
There's going to be a load of those things that happen more and more. We've got to I mean, yes, I've plugged Ranty's show with Right the Hand, but we're living in the quantum mechanical age, if you will, the age of technology that's based on those experiments. So, given that that's the case, and a lot of the principles that have been exposed through experimentation fly in the face of Einsteinian mathematics, we're going to be relinquishing certain aspects of our model. And maybe that's the reason I'm speculating that people like Bill Nye are starting to change their rhetoric, and indeed NASA, and just change their rhetoric slightly, because we're going to have to go through that transition based on new experimental data that's permeating the academic world. You know, that it's not like the people who are finding this information out don't realise the implications. That's why we've got all the great citations we've got. So this is known stuff, and it does fly in the face of the current models and pseudoscience that's taught to children. So that will change with time, whether we like it or not. It's just a question of time in that regard. If the people on top understand fundamentally that we can't live in the world that's been described, that will change over time, and is. So, yeah, you know, there's going to be things like this crop up all the time. NASA's just the tip of the iceberg in that regard.
Yeah, that's what I feel every time I hear an astronaut say, "Oh, we're still, can't go past low Earth orbit." I mean, bells ring in my head because I'm just like, wait a minute. There's this whole thing in '69 that was supposed to happen, but apparently that we're just gonna negate that because we can't do it now. Like, who is falling for this?
Not just in '69, dude. There were 6. There were 6 moon missions.
Yeah, I know. 6 of them between '69 and '72. Trust me, I know.
But
okay. We're just gonna forget that now in 2019.
And Chocolate, have in mind that meanwhile they were planning to go on Mars as well. Like, what the fuck?
Oh yeah, Mars.
Speaking of astronauts, I was playing it on my screen. I didn't know if you don't put the audio up, and I've got it screen captured now, but this is right off. I DVR'd that thing. I shared it in Skype, yesterday, and I found it. And this is actually a footage of the early so-called astronaut program, and then they are putting astronauts in balloons in a kind of capsule in a balloon to send them up to high altitude. And I've actually stopped it at this point, and this is one of their shots from that documentary. So I don't know if you guys in the UK or Australia can pick this up or not, but it's on PBS here in the US, public broadcasting. So, but this is this shot is off of their documentary they were just showing. So just more evidence.
I've got it
How
presented.
is this supposed to be?
I was going to say, can you just talk us through it? Because the people in Discord haven't got it, the live audience have got it, and if you can contextualize it verbally, that'd be very helpful, Paul.
Well, I haven't watched the whole thing completely, so I'm not sure the context of this. But I think they were talking that some of the astronauts.
Paul, did you drop this in Master B? Because I could drop it in Discord for those guys over there so they could see it.
Well, this is off my dish DVR, so I can't really drop it. I can do a screenshot and drop it into Discord, but that's about it. I can try to get the name of the programs so anybody that's local in the U.S. might be able to watch it, on PBS or be on demand or something. But they were talking. I did see a couple shots where they were talking about that space starts at like 327,000 feet or something like that. They were showing the altitude, and they did talk about what the astronauts were going through. Like, I think this guy here, I did catch this one. He was went up, and at some point, the carbon monoxide started building up, and his oxygen system began to fail, and he had to basically release the balloon, so he had to drop back down, so he couldn't get up, I don't think, as high as he wanted to. It was just interesting. We were talking about them getting him up into space, and early part of doing that was on balloons, not rockets. So,
if NASA, is it true that NASA is the largest acquirer of helium?
Yes.
In the world?
Yes.
All right, so why would a space agency, this is just a simple question. Why would a space agency that has figured out rockets still be buying helium more than ever?
Well, Tentman, you see rockets around you every day, but they use hot air, not helium. That's the kind of rockets they are referring to.
Also, another interesting thing is like UAP did a video on this, and he said like they fill the rockets with like helium too to help them lift faster. I don't know if that's true, but it's interesting.
Maybe. Who knows?
I don't have a horse and buggy when I got a car.
Hold on. Don't play it. If you're gonna show it, just hold it on a still and play it that way. But if you play it, I'll definitely get a copyright strike.
That's why I turned the sound off too. I didn't know if they were picking up the image.
Not the sound, the images. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. If you want to present it, I can. I had it up because you had it on pause. But as soon as you start playing, I've got to immediately scramble to the button to take you off screen. But
okay, sorry about that.
Just keep it on pause and scrub through to the bits that you want to see. So it's almost like you're presenting still shots from it. That's acceptable.
Okay. Well, what I'll have to do then, because it won't let me just jump, I have to play it and then move. So I'll come off and then come back if I see something interesting.
Yeah, just let me know then, because I'll have to put you on screen when you find something interesting, like I did with the picture of the high altitude shot.
Okay.
While that's happening, can I ask, is Kiwi here?
Yes, he is.
Because I have this Higgs field on my screen, and I wanted Kiwi to go through it for the audience and explain how much of a bullshit this is. It's the highlighted part. It's absolutely ridiculous. But Kiwi will do the best job on reading it and explaining how moronic this is.
He might be having his breakfast, so unless you actually hear his voice, I mean, he's on the call, but I don't know if he's actually in front of his mic. So maybe I've got it on screen, and I had it on screen when he first put it up. But as I say, until he actually makes an appearance, keep it on screen share, and when you hear him, just see if you can get his attention.
Yeah, right.
Come off mute and share your breakfast.
Was you talking to me or somebody else?
We're talking about QE.
Oh, okay.
I feel your calories.
Calorie erase.
Here's another high altitude shot. That one's a little bit more fuzzy, but it's just another high altitude shot.
Yep, flat as a pancake.
What are they saying? This is from what, 300 or something thousand feet?
It's hard to listen to the audio because if the audio plays because it's on Dish, I can't mute it, and so you guys are in my ear too, so it's hard. I don't have a way to mix it out to get rid of you guys and hear that too. So I'm just trying to find things. I'll sit down and watch the whole thing, and if I see anything interesting, I'll do it. I'm just trying to find things that are just some screenshots that I think are interesting at this point.
You can't regulate the volume of the Google Hangout as opposed to the media that you're playing?
I don't know how to do that. Let's see, maybe. Yeah, I don't see a volume control on my side for the Hangout.
You on your computer?
I am. I'm in a browser. I'm in a web browser. I'm not in the actual Hangout itself. So it's actually easier for me to share. Sometimes it won't let me go in with the Hangout app, so I have to use a browser. What I'm using. No big deal. Talk amongst yourselves. I'll find something else.
Yeah, globe heads around the Earth are getting desperate, looking at the amount of people who are now ditching the globe. Favorite topic.
I mean, the same ones that are in the Flat Earth chats every day saying how Flat Earth is dying.
Yeah.
While they're in the Flat Earth chats every day. That's adorable. I love that.
Yeah.
Well, expected soon in the school system. Well, kids, the Earth is not actually a spinning ball. As recently it was found out.
Okay, I've got you up, Paul.
Just another high altitude shot. That's all. Just another one. I'm finding them as I go through the video.
Look at that flat globe.
That's what I was talking about. It's flat, even from official government photos.
Now I'm really curious as to how high this is, because we've all heard the 128,000 feet, that stuff is flat, right? But if this is supposed to be what the Kármán line is, what's supposed to be like 300,000, and it still looks like this, but boats disappearing at 4 miles, 5 miles? No, sorry.
Excuse me, what is this apparent horizon doing in the middle? Geometrically impossible? If it's a ball?
Say that again, I didn't get that.
What's that apparent horizon doing in the middle of the picture if it's a ball? A bit geometrically impossible.
Hey, Paul, what year was this? Does it say? 60s?
Yeah, it looks like it was in the early, or probably the 50s or 60s. The military uniforms looked alike around that period.
Yeah.
Looked like around that period.
Yeah, this is very similar to Joe Kittinger, Kittinger. So if you YouTube Joe Kittinger, he was the guy in the control room talking to Felix Baumgartner. And Baumgartner brought him in there because he was breaking Joe's previous record. And when I watched the YouTube videos of the Joe Kittinger jump in the 60s, they had a fisheye lens, and as he was falling, the Earth was doing concave, convex, and straight. So it's just interesting that you're showing this. That was the first guy who went up, and they still had fisheye lens. And he went up in a high altitude balloon, and he was in the control room with Felix Baumgartner as his record was being broken.
Kind of crazy.
So that people can see it on the telly.
Yeah, it's in the telly, right, Ranty?
Ranty's not here.
I was going to say he's not here anymore.
All right. Well, it was his line.
Shout out to Ranty and his TV.
Ranty came for the drama, then he left.
Where are the stars, by the way?
Yeah. Big problem are the stars for them, because they're not visible. And there is thinner air.
And they say that because of the lack of air, you're not supposed to be seeing them.
Yeah, but they
I
saw
don't
it
get
from
that.
the moon. But they saw them from the moon. Like,
did
No,
they?
that just depends on who you ask.
well, that
Because the astronauts have different stories on that.
No, but the picture, there were pictures of them, right?
that was a
Supposed to be
contradiction.
off the Earth, and there were no stars in that one.
They had a contradiction on their TV interview. One guy said that they saw them, and the other one was like, "Oh, we didn't." Like, yeah, we saw them.
And that's when Neil Armstrong kicked him in the leg. Like,
Yeah,
hey, buddy. Like that wasn't too subtle.
Yeah,
we didn't see that.
That was like
accidental honesty.
Yeah, script writer got fired immediately after.
It's that new one with the guy who shows up and says that we don't have the technology anymore. He's with another guy, and they're next to each other. You could see it's all acting. And he says, "Oh yeah, you know." Then you see the bigger stars and everything else, and it's like Chocolate says. The other astronaut says, "Nope, you can't see anything." Well, you both say you've been up there. How could it just turn on and turn off?
Like, guys, have you seen it?
I almost felt like that was like a skit. Because
It
I
was
know
a
you're talking. That was Don Pettit and that other. I can't remember the other guy's name. But
Yeah,
I know exactly who you're talking about. It was almost like a comedy skit, like an Abbott and Costello.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
oh, I see it. No, I don't see it. Oh, and they talk like this, like, oh my God, it's so cool. Like,
You're
shut up.
You're exactly
You
right.
don't sound like people qualified to go into space. Does Don Pettit sound to anybody smart enough to I mean, did anybody see when somebody asked him about procedure, an emergency procedure, and he was like, "Oh yeah, there's a procedure. Yeah, they would do something."
I saw that one. The guy says,
I mean,
where's the crack in the seal? Yeah, so I'm sure there's a book on how to fix that.
Exactly. Yeah, I've seen that.
Yep, these are the best and the brightest.
Or just put one normal fighter jet pilot next to an astronaut and ask them about procedures, and you'll see who knows procedures and who doesn't. Then, like, it will be hilarious. You'll get
Dude, you don't even have to get to that level. Ask a regular flight attendant about the procedures of emergency landing, and they'll spit it out for 20 minutes.
Yeah.
And this guy just says, "Oh yeah, they'll do something." It's a joke. It's a joke.
Wasn't there an actual story of a pinhole in the ISS and they plugged it up with something?
Yes, their finger.
They just use the finger.
Oh, that was gold.
Oh my gosh. Was it the middle finger?
You guys all remember that Aliens movie where the alien gets sucked through a tiny hole in the window?
Yeah.
Bones and everything.
That was Aliens 4.
Yeah, I use that to like try to explain people the vacuum of space and kind of how it's supposed to be.
That's how they used to project it like that. Yes. Now not so much.
Yeah.
So you mean Sigourney Weaver can't open up the cargo door and have the vacuum take out the alien anymore?
No, they say the vacuum doesn't.
Or maybe if there was a vacuum chamber right next to it.
Who said Ripley? Because that's perfect. Ripley's Believe It or Not.
Yep.
Ripley's Believe It or Not. That's a new tag right there.
They're everywhere, man. Game over, man.
Oh, wow.
Why don't you put her in charge?
Secure that shit, Hudson.
It's one of the. I know everyone praises the original Alien movie, but in my humble opinion, Aliens is better than the original. The second movie, I think, is better. It's
By
more
far,
exciting. It's
by
more
far,
scary.
They created the best tropes ever.
Well, James Cameron was behind it, of course.
James Cameron knows his balls.
From a narrative standpoint, the new Prometheus beats them all.
Cameron knows atmosphere. That's really where he's master at creating the right atmosphere. That's just Tinker tailored every time.
And he does it
like
without
a giant
container.
experience that way. And Alien 2 was his masterpiece, one of his biggest, in my opinion.
And he does it without a container.
But what we're describing here is the essence of the brainwashing. You know, a really good space-based movie. You know, for me, I probably watched Aliens when I was about 12, maybe even younger. But it had a big impression. You know, it cemented the ideas of space in my mind very firmly.
Mm-hmm. Avatar, James Cameron as well.
That's boring as shit, that movie.
I liked it.
I'm glad I'm not the only one who felt that way. Because I was like, why is this movie so popular? Like, it's not that good. Maybe I'm just crazy, but I don't know. It wasn't me.
My wife fell asleep.
Of the Avatar aliens.
My wife fell asleep in the theatre with the glasses on, full on, fell asleep.
No, but it was really popular because it was also just like a fictional minority basically getting attacked. And that's like totally playing into the popular generalized hype feelings. It was just made to accommodate for the spirit of the time.
Social engineering.
Yes.
It was a titanic effort, though.
Yeah, Titanic, James Cameron as well.
That was a joke.
If you're a master of atmosphere, then you're also going to be inclined to really get what's going on with vast groups of people, even if they don't get it. And that's the trick. That's how you bind people and how you make something that really impresses people and changes the course of their thinking sometimes.
I think the way it's going, James Cameron is doing the new moon landings.
Yeah, maybe.
Because he keeps on postponing Avatar 2, 3, 4, and 5.
Yeah, or it may be Michael Bay, though.
Oh, yeah. he did it.
Speaking of James Cameron,
Nothing makes more impression on Americans than explosions.
I was going to say, there's no explosions apart from the takeoff, though. There's like one main explosion. Well, that's not enough for a Michael Bay movie.
But they'll just add more explosions, mysterious UFOs exploding, and, he can work with that.
There's actually a good point with James Cameron
You
about
imagine the moon landings,
maybe.
and then actually Michael Bay shit starts happening. Holy shit. That would be
Did you guys know James Cameron was supposed to supply the cameras for filming on Mars? So he might be tied in with the deception, who knows?
Say that again?
He was supposed to provide the cameras for filming on Mars or something like that, like new camera technology. So I don't know, it's an interesting tie-in because everything they do is fake. So maybe he even knows about it.
Camera?
Probably the virtual camera he developed for Avatar because they'll need something virtual for Mars.
So it's going to be Cameron technology, is it?
Yeah.
Yeah, but
wasn't that the first movie they used a blue screen on?
For Avatar, they used the first virtual camera.
Oh, okay, but they also, I'm pretty sure, used the first blue screen. It wasn't.
Yeah, it is based on a blue screen.
Green.
But isn't NASA sending up 8-megapixel cameras still to this day?
No, they're not sending anything up. Space violates a natural law. It's not real. It's like Narnia. They're not sending anything anywhere.
I meant in the movie with aliens that went up.
They might be
Space is
faking
real,
like
so
the
the
depths of the
aliens.
seas too.
That was
Like,
a
you guys ever
Ripley's
thought they
believe it
might
or
be
not
faking the depths of
question.
the seas?
Here's an when they put the Titanic on the TV with the commercials, I never saw one cruise line commercial at all.
So have you guys seen like the footage of the depths of the seas where they have like this creature going through like lava in and out? Like, who knows if that's real?
No, what? Yeah, share it, please.
Oh, I don't have it. I just remember seeing it on the telly.
But was it a joke or is this
But
real?
yeah, now that I think about it, it's like, could that be possible? Like some kind of a fish from like the very depths of the sea, swimming from cold water through lava and then back to cold water. Like, it could just all be fabricated. Who knows?
Not really, but there may be some kind of geyser connection or something.
Was that the James Cameron down the Mariana Trench shooting one?
Sounds like a spot
Yeah,
trooper.
James Cameron again. That's right. I mean, I don't know. Can we go that deep?
They claim to, but can they prove it?
Well, they lay underground
So-
internet lines. They go that deep with the cable and the casing.
With the oceans, I don't discount a lot of things with the oceans. I think there's just so much going on in the oceans that we don't have a clue about. So I
Yeah, they
wouldn't
say we
just
know more about
offhand
space
discount
than the depths
everything.
of the oceans.
Yeah,
They say we know more about space than the depths of the oceans.
yeah.
We know everything about space. And everything about space is that it doesn't exist.
It's easy to know everything about something when you make it up.
Yeah. But it's more clever or more genius when you can put it in one sentence. Well, space is fake.
Outer space is fake.
Yeah, outer space. Sorry. Not space in general. The sky vacuum cleaner.
Did you guys see when I posted yesterday in Master B like a 6-minute video, supposedly of how they were able to broadcast live from the moon? Anybody see that?
I know the full
Yeah,
rhetoric.
I saw it.
I know it anyway,
wasn't
but go
able
on.
to watch it yet.
No, I was just asking if anybody had seen it.
Well, Nixon picked up the phone and talked to them, a landline.
Oh, of course. Meanwhile, he had a picture of Earth from the moon on the wall next to him while they were on the moon. You ever seen that?
What, really?
Did you ever see that?
So that means that we have a cable going to the moon, or?
Yeah, they designed some fancy camera to put on the outside of the lunar lander, which is what was used to capture Neil Armstrong and these guys coming off. You know, the special camera that made Neil Armstrong look absolutely see-through. That one?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, Chocolate, do you know that the lunar modules of Eagle 1 were actually made in Bulgaria?
Really?
Yeah.
That's
That
funny.
famous takeoff that was shot from who knows who of that thing leaving moon with those engine or those rocket engines, they were actually made in Bulgaria. Supposedly. I should try and check out who made them, and I can call him.
All fake.
This is a shot, just so you guys know, just to get back on the video. I'm still trying to find stuff. This is them starting to try to figure out ways to, test how the astronaut can get out of the capsule and then get down to a point where the parachute will work. So, and obviously this capsule here is on a balloon to get them up there. More balloon footage in the capsule.
Somebody was talking. What are you looking at? What is this?
It's a capsule they've designed to try to teach or not teach, but to try to figure out a way for the astronauts to get out of a capsule, safely, if something was to go wrong. But even then, they talked about how they have to get down to, I think, below 20,000 feet for the parachute to work. Even if they're very high, they've still got to figure out how to get them down safely to the point where they can open up the parachute. But they're using this as tethered on a balloon to get it up there.
Well, I think they've done that in the beginning.
Wait, and this is supposed to come. I'm sorry, man.
Just a quick, Chucky, I'll give you the mic. I think that they've done this in the beginning just to get all the attention of all the people that were working around those missions, so that everybody can constantly see people going inside those crafts, so that they get the idea that everything's real. And they knew all the time that it's just faking how they'll get on and off, or how they'll actually work with the parachutes.
I'm just saying what the video is saying. I don't know. I make no claim if it's true or real or not. I'm just making a claim what the video is saying. But you can actually see training. You can actually see that this is on a balloon, though.
So this was training for them to land on the moon, or when they came back, supposedly?
I think right now they're just in the process of trying to get people into space, get man into space. They're not even thinking about the moon at this point.
Okay.
Up there, if they get up that high and they have to get out of the rocket, how are they going to get them back safely? I think part of this balloon issue here, or balloon capsule, is them trying to figure that stuff out.
On a different note, maybe someone could chime in on this. When we talk to our friends and family and others about flat Earth, they're so desensitized. They'll say stuff like, well, yeah, we know the government lies, or, they're all liars. So what? And they're just so busy trying to make a living and just get life going. It's like, wait a minute, how come when I heard that the government lied, I got mad and I wanted to find out and make sure if this was a lie or not, and you are just hand-waving dismissal and just going on with life as if it doesn't matter. And so this desensitizing has happened throughout our society on many fronts. I remember the story of the St. Valentine's Day massacre, where the gangsters shot up, I think it was seven gangsters in a garage in Chicago were lined up and shot to death. So bad people killing bad people shocked the whole country. Oh my gosh. Now people die every day on the streets of Chicago. No one even cares.
Well, Tentman, I think that's actually the ball working. That's the idea of the ball, keep them working and not thinking.
Yeah, but when we bring it up to them, the desensitizing is so effective. It's like, wait a minute, this doesn't matter to me if it's round or flat because I got a mortgage to pay, or do you see where I'm going with this?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, don't we all have some bills to pay, but we did something different when the information came across our eyes?
Real quick, another flat horizon from the video. Flat horizon. Not sure how high, but another flat horizon.
Yep.
Yeah, I think about that too, 10th man.
I have a stupid question. I don't know if it was discussed on here, but You know the ordinary helium balloons that you can get in lunch for high altitude? Because somebody said that it's not legal to get higher, so get a bigger balloon. Is that so?
Don't know. I've seen enough footage from the weather balloons, and they go over 120,000 feet, and they're on YouTube for everyone to see. You see the flat Earth.
My main idea is that you can see them, most of them popping between 1200 and 1300 or something like that. But if you get like 2 or 3 and you attach them all to one place, like put a bunch of them there, will it go higher, or you need a bigger balloon?
Well, if someone's got the money and they want to do it, go ahead. But it's already been done, and there's plenty of them on the YouTube. And you compare that to the official story.
Oh yeah, true. But like, for instance, can you get up to like 200,000? That's my question.
Still going to look flat.
Yeah, but then you can show them the bigger number and see.
If they can't see that, a bigger number ain't going to do anything.
Yeah, even extra information doesn't seem to do much. You just got to find the right thing that clicks with somebody, and you don't know what that right thing is.
Well, we can't control the outcome. We can only control the information we give them. And then the ones that see it, the ones that don't. And no one's ever going to change that.
Real quick, 10th Man, I think this might be the guy you were talking about. I wasn't listening to the commentary, but he
that's
just jumped
him.
out.
That's him. I see him.
Yeah,
that's
he just jumped out.
10th Man, do you know the story that he lost one of his gloves during the fall?
Yeah, his hand swelled up.
Yeah.
I ordered the actual Life magazine with the story in it. There was one out there for like $16. So I said, no, I'm going to get this. So I got it. So read the story. The videos are better though on YouTube because they actually show the Earth changing shape because of the fisheye lens.
Hmm.
That was on his chest. He had a camera on his chest. And the Earth was changing.
Well, it's funny that none of the videos that I've shot of them at the high altitude on this, they've never showed even a concave or fisheye. It's always been flat on this video. Everyone I've found so far.
There's a dedicated channel to him, kind of like a fan page, and in there's a video with some music attached to it, and it shows the whole jump, and that's where you see it. But it shows flat too, so.
I just think it's interesting in this video itself. It's whoever did the video and put the documentary together didn't show any, curved shots. It's always the flat horizon. I just think that's interesting. Who knows why? I'm not saying there's any intent or any, them trying to reveal something or anything like that. It's just interesting. They didn't pick any. They picked the flat horizons on every shot that I've seen so far.
Well, yeah, you need the video, the running video that's, I think, 4 minutes to 6 minutes long. You need that one, not the still shots.
I'm screen sharing a picture from outer space.
You sure it's not your closet? Well, where are the Globers? I thought Discord was going to bring some good debate. I mean, they're dying breed, I guess.
Oh, guys, look at that picture.
It should be titled "A Universal Lie."
Yeah. And this one I made, but it's in Bulgarian, but I will translate it. It says, Houston, we have a problem. And flying space monkey.
We're down to mimicking them ourselves because none of them want to come on the show anymore.
Yeah. I can do this all day. As Captain America stated. That's the one. Can you see it, Tentman? This is Baumgartner and the guy that jumped before.
Yeah.
I saw the curve. Which one?
Yeah, this is good. I've seen something like this before. All three.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's Joe Kinninger behind them.
Yeah.
Well, I'll catch you guys tomorrow. No globe heads coming. Maybe tomorrow.
Oh, I was just trying to get one in.
See you later, 10th man.
Okay.
I have some naysaying if I may interject.
Go ahead.
Yes. Okay, so it's about the gas pressure thing, and I'm probably just slower to understand it. Yes, but the thing is, when we witnessed these sound waves creating different gas pressure pockets, I don't understand why one of these sound waves creating these pockets can't be the upper barrier for our gas pressure here on Earth. Did I go through? Can you
Yeah, we heard you.
my English?
Well,
Does
that will be
anyone
like having a slow puncture.
Real quick, before 10th man leaves, I've got the Life magazine cover on here if he wants to see it. I think it's on the video. He's still on.
Yeah, I have it. I own it.
Also, is Jado muted? Because he's a baller. He might want to talk.
Nobody's muted. Everyone's in the after show, so that nobody comes in.
Oh
on
yeah,
server
that's
mute.
right. That's right. I forgot.
But Nathan, you blushed over it real quickly, and I'm probably just slower. I'm not sure why.
What was your question? I wasn't paying the slightest bit of attention. I'm updating my website. What was the question again?
Okay, so we have gas pressure in a container, but these sound waves we witnessed holding these gas pressure pockets, I don't understand why one of these sound wave pockets or bands can't be the upper barrier for the gas pressure here on Earth.
Because gas can still go through them, it will be like a slow puncture.
What's causing the sound waves up there to you?
No, I don't know.
Okay, well, we're back in Narnia. We're back in Narnia because you got to have something.
Yeah, something underneath our ground may produce vibrations that are not felt because the wavelength is only so and so long that it's the first time the force is felt is high in the air. But
This is grabbing something from. There's nothing to the argument. I mean, if maybe sound waves I can't hear, could it possible? I mean, we need more than that.
No, I'm trying to figure out what the container is. Yeah,
it's a container.
No, but what is it? How does it work? What is it? What is beyond it? How thick is it? What?
Well, go up there to see it and touch it and come back and tell us. That's the only way you're going to know, and I'm going to know what it exactly is. We just know there is one.
I have a better proposal for him for the container. If you're having any worries about containers, so you may speak with somebody who has something to do with Antarctica and ask them to go and see if there is a dome coming down to the ice.
I can make one claim about the container I think that's valid and provable. It has to be denser than the substance it's containing.
I agree.
So
Well, unless we're living in a spatially looping confine, in which case there would have to be a ceiling of some kind, but...
Yeah, still denser, though.
Yeah. Hey, are you reading this, Dejan?
Yeah, I was actually reading.
Just radicalized, now allowing extreme threats of violence against marked individuals.
Back to the container for a minute. The question in our housekeeping is precisely written. Any evidence you can have gas pressure without the necessary antecedent of a container to press upon. We're talking about the natural world here. And notice it's not saying what it is. It's saying any evidence that gas pressure could exist without it pressing against something. It's a very good question, open to discussion. No one's gone up to touch it and see it, so no one could say it's this or that. But we all know you need it in order for gas to press upon the walls. This is a great question. It make for hours of conversation. Bottom line, you can't have gas pressure without a container.
Well, it's a great question, but at the same time, it's one of those questions that kind of answers itself, because you can't have something without its antecedent.
Well,
and that's where they kind of get confused.
You could even migrate the concept and just say without containment.
Yeah, because containment
it kind of implies a physical.
Hey, Nathan, can you put up the picture I sent you of the hot air balloons just for a second? I want to show something.
I did have it up during the show, actually, but I can put it up again if you want.
Well, I mean, on the Hangout.
Well, the majority of people are in Discord.
Okay, well, go ahead, put it on Discord.
Okay.
I'll pull it up on. I'll just pull it up on my phone here.
Okay.
Hold on. Tell me when it's up.
Yeah, it's on now.
All right. So for those of you who can see this picture, this is from my property here in California. You can see the balloons all rising, and you can hear the guy with the lever pulling down to create the flame to cause the heat. Right? You've all seen this, hopefully heard it. If you haven't been near hot air balloons, would you consider the balloon a container?
Yes.
Okay, now look at the bottom right of the picture. You see a 500-gallon propane tank. You see that?
Yeah.
That's a container too. There's propane gas in that one.
Right.
And see the greenhouses behind?
Yeah.
That's got 6 mil greenhouse film. And that's a container too. And see the house on top of the hill?
Yeah, I get it. It's all containers. What's
next up on What's My Container?
My point is, we build houses with roof and insulation to keep heat in and cool, depending if we're going to run the air conditioning. You need a container. Look at the sky. It's got one. You just don't see it.
Yeah.
That's it. It's right there. The house is a container. The balloon's a container. The greenhouse is a container.
It would be very far away, though.
The propane tank's a container. And now we look up at the sky and say, what about all this gas? How's this staying here? We got all these different obvious, it's a container of some kind.
Oh, also, I think I can make another claim from this dialogue about the container. It is a closed container, not an open container, the system.
Yeah.
Well, it would have to be, because what's the point of the propane tank if it's open when the guy comes here and asks me for money, I don't have the gas.
In this regard, can I get a screen share? And I want to show you something that was influenced by the show. It's about a monkey. It's written in Bulgarian, but I'll read it in I'll just read it out in English. if you guys are seeing it. It says, in school they taught us that we're flying monkeys and that one day we'll fly in space. Then it says, they wouldn't lie to us in school. And below the monkey it says, to the space flying monkeys. And then on the bottom says, second law of thermal what?
We still don't have a globe head from Discord coming on?
I will say this. I think Brenda's help us move this conversation along a little bit more, because now we can actually say evidence of a, or gas. Anyway, how to say that? Closed container, not an open container. How would we work that into the question?
It's an obvious. You can't contain something when it's open.
Can we think of Brenda as a natural phenomenon?
Are we forgetting about George's closed thermos being an open system?
Well, I mean, the question is whether the Earth is an open or closed system is a different question. It can be an open, or was it? See, how does that go? Okay, the difference between isolated and closed. I think that's what I'm driving at. I think we can still determine that this is a closed system, but not an isolated system, because we still got energy coming in. But I think it have to be at least a closed system at some point.
It's closed.
Back to Bill Nye, isn't it? That's how this conversation started up in this instance, wasn't it, with Bill Nye?
Yeah.
You have to be real careful, too, when you're talking about open, closed, and isolated systems, that you identify what exactly you're talking about. So, you know what I'm saying? So it's got to be something like the Earth system, or this system, this aquarium, or you have to identify your boundaries, is what I'm trying to say. It's just, it's not clumsy, it's just a little ambiguous when you don't identify those. Because you can have open systems and closed systems and open systems, right?
Yep.
It's just a FYI.
Can you see, is my screen shared, my main screen, QE?
Yeah, I'm seeing the sunset with the car.
Yeah, perfect.
Listen, I'm just trying to get over the fog of the morning. I caught Toady retard and the Rumpus Lion yesterday. They had a 30-minute presentation, right, on my 2-minute claim. I got those guys lying. I mean, it's no surprise, but I just want to highlight that to the audience, just to show how these crayon munchers are the lowest of the low. But it's going to take a little bit of help from you, just with playing a video, stopping it, and playing it again. So I don't know what you want to do, whether you want to do it during this show or do you want to do it right after? I don't know.
Could you on this show?
And one more thing too for you.
We hold on a second. We could try a wing it.
Yeah, we'll just wing it. If you can first, the one's been waiting to ask you a question for about an hour, so I'm hoping that you can just dispense with that first, and then we can.
That will be quick.
Hold on 1 second. Let me get this up. Copy. Okay, hold on. Let me send you the link right here. And let me give you the stop time. This is a timestamp, so you could play it immediately, show the video, play it immediately, and then stop at... And we'll go over this again. Stop at...
But can we do it after the one asks his question to you?
Yeah.
I'm screen sharing. I just wanted QE to go through and point out the contradictions in that 3 paragraphs that I highlighted just for the audience.
Well, with the Higgs field, that's outside my scope, man. I'll play with. I looked at that years ago and left it.
No, it's just really ridiculous. Just look
up. Just look up the Higgs. Well, you already did. Higgs field, Higgs boson. They're trying to figure out how certain particles have mass. Well, I'll tell you what. Define mass first, and then we can talk.
Yeah,
How
but
about that?
I just want to point out the end paragraph, what they've written here. If the Higgs field did not exist, particles would have not have the mass required to attract one another.
Right.
And that's just, wasn't it overseeded? They're going back to mass attracting mass. It's just ridiculous.
Nah, they're trying to figure out that's what I said about mass. Well, if somebody can define mass first, then you could bring the Higgs field and Higgs boson, and then we can talk about that. But you're gonna have to define mass first.
Any amount of matter. What's that?
Well, I'm not getting into the Higgs field right here. I'm on to something else. All right, Nathan, let me send this to you. Just let me know when you got it.
Yeah, I'm just queuing it up.
So like I said, it's timestamped. Don't play it just yet.
Have you got to present your screen as well?
Yeah, hold on a second, man. I'm still recovering from the fog of the morning. I'll tell you what we need to do. See, I hit my stride about 7 p.m. U.S. Central Time. We need to move this show to then.
Yeah, that can do.
So what time is that for you?
Yeah, that's no good.
Isn't that like 1 in the morning or something?
Hey, John, you should have been on the very early part of this show. We were talking about coffee. It's a wonderful invention. I use it pretty regularly. It helps me get the day started. I don't know if you've figured out this thing called coffee yet.
Okay, right.
I usually have tea and sometimes I have coffee, but I haven't had those yet. Yeah, so let's see how we're gonna do this.
Okay, I'm ready when you are.
Oh, I'm not ready yet.
Oh, okay.
And I don't want you to play that. So what I want you to do is when I tell you to play it, go ahead and have that up on screen, right? And play it. You're going to hear a conversation. Toadie's going to read my claim against him. And then I want you to stop at 14:30.
Okay.
Then I want you to come back to my screen. Tell me when my screen's up. And then I want you to play it again at 75 speed.
Okay.
And then stop at 14:30. You got that?
You mean 0.75, right?
Yeah, I call it 75 or 78
sure.
speed, but yeah, 0.75.
Can you share your screen then, so I can get my alien off screen?
Yeah. Hold on.
Xenomorph, I should say.
It's a xenomorph. Why don't you put her in charge?
Cure that shit, Hudson.
Yeah, you guys are all over it. Yeah.
Game over, man. Game over.
That's right.
They're everywhere, man. Game over, man.
One of my favorite movies of all time.
Okay, what do you want first? The video first?
Hold on. No. I'll tell you when.
Okay, so what do you want me to present first?
Hold on a second.
God.
Oh, boy. Let me get my bearings. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to go over the original presentation. Like, it's only 2 minutes, my original presentation. Then we're going to go to Beavis and Butthead after that. And then when I tell you, because we're going to need to see them, right? So I have Weasel Toady. I want you to play it with your screen up, not my screen. So when we get there, I'll tell you. How about that? It's not that difficult.
No worries.
And this is the only time you're going to play anything and stop and then play and then play at 75 speed. You're not going to do anything after that. I'll tell you to pull up my screen, then we'll just move on because I'm not playing this play and play stop nonsense. Okay. So Toady retard, let's identify this weasel. Get out of there. So this is who we're talking about right here. You know, I remember this guy. Yeah, I seen some posts. He calls himself an established scientist and some type of cartographer that he's been doing for like 25 years. He's a real retard. But we caught him weaseling and lying too. I can't believe it. Well, I can't say that. I mean, I catch these people lying all the time. But he did it outright where everyone could see it. So let's go ahead. So what he said during that hangout that I just posted up here, this is what he said. He said, Nathan and QE tried to debunk the fact that there's no Earth curve using Google, right? Which is the WGS84 projection of an oblate spheroid onto the Earth, and they think they should see drop, right? And as I keep saying, if you went at sea level, zero, wherever you are on the sea, and you sailed halfway around the globe, it's still from the center of the Earth, right? This is what he said. He said this a number of times before, too, but I just caught this one. So apparently Toady Retard was on vacation from Captain Kangaroo Preschool when I pummeled the Pontiff Maximus of Retardia, Georgie, peddling the same inane horseshit. So the Globetard's only port in the storm is this. Elevation is measured from the center of the Earth, right? It just made that shit up. Try to tie it incoherently to gravity. So that is, every point along the surface of the Earth is equidistant from the center of the Earth, right? So number one, they got a big problem. From the Alma Mater Wiki, elevation is not to be confused with the distance from the center of the Earth. Let me say that again. Elevation is not to be confused with the distance from the center of the Earth. So you got a big problem right here, right? I mean, it's unbelievable. Like I said, they're from MSU, making shit up university. And B, how in the world can they even make that claim when they live on an ellipsoid? And he already said, right, an oblate spheroid, friggin' ellipsoid, right? And then I pulled this up. You know, and he even said the WGS84. Yeah, well, let me make this a little bigger. Well, as you can see here, folks, if you go from the center of the Earth to any point along a tangent here, all of these distances to each point are non-equidistant. I mean, a retard can see this, right? So their story is friggin' moronic on so many levels. They contradict each other and themselves with every other breath. So that was my whole presentation. My whole presentation was just indicting him on his claim of elevation is measured from the distance from the center of the Earth, right? His claim. That's my whole presentation, my only point, and it was only a short 2 minutes. So, yesterday, it seems that Beavis and Butthead, see, Butthead, the toady retard, convinced Beavis, the rumpus, to join forces and cook up an incoherent 25-minute presentation attempting to debunk my simple 2-minute claim. It's just real simple. And the rumpus, he kept saying, yeah, QE's 3 points during the whole thing, right? Well, what 3 points? I only had 1 point. This is the point. Elevation is not measured from the center of the Earth. That was my whole point. It's the whole deal, right? And it collapses your retarded claims in a nanosecond. But these guys go on here and do a whole presentation, you know, fumbling and stumbling and fetching and stepping over themselves, and they missed the whole damn point. And then they started lying, and it's real funny how he did it, especially Toady. So I want you to go ahead and show this video that I gave you, Nathan. Stop at 14:30.
So let me just read through what it is that I said the other day on a chat. And obviously this is on a chat. I didn't type this out or, you know what I mean, send it in as a physics paper. But let me just read the bit that I said, and then we can discuss that, Rumpus, yeah?
Okay, so you want to read out what's written?
Yeah, so I'll read it out. I can read it. Nathan and QE tried to debunk the fact, this is what I said the other day. Nathan and QE tried to debunk the fact that there was no Earth curve using Google. It's moving around. Rumpus.
Sorry, I was trying to make it bigger.
Make it better. Which is a WGS84 projection of an oblate spheroid onto the Earth. And they think that they should see drop, right? And as I keep saying, if you were at sea level 0, wherever you are on the sea, and you sailed halfway around the globe, you're still pretty much going to be at sea level 0 because you're at sea level. And the oblate spheroid, which I talked about above, is pretty much, and pretty much, but it isn't actually done, taken from the center of the Earth. And
so did you catch that? If you didn't, there's no problem. Go ahead and pull my screen back up. Let me know when it's up.
You are up.
All right, do me a favor. Go ahead and refresh that video you just played and put it at 0.75 speed. And then go ahead and play it. I'm going to highlight what he says when he says it.
From the same exact point.
Yeah, from the same exact point, 0.75 speed. And then just play
really,
the sound.
It relates to mean sea level. But what we're going to do is we're going to explain a little bit more detail. Now, you notice in this, he didn't answer the key point that I made towards QE and Nathan, which was around their debunking of Timmy, because they expected on the antelope.
Go ahead and refresh it back to the same point you started at in the beginning.
Theft can ruin your home.
He was making.
So let me just read through what it is that I said the other day on a chat. And obviously this is on a chat. I didn't type this out or, you know what I mean, send it in as a physics paper. But let me just read the bit that I said and then we can discuss that, Rumpus, yeah?
Okay, so you want to read out what it's read?
Yeah, so I'll read it out. I can read it. Nathan and QE tried to debunk the fact, this is what I said the other day. Nathan and QE tried to debunk the fact that there was no Earth curve using Google. It's moving around, Rumpus.
Sorry, I was trying to make it bigger.
Make it better. Which is a WGS 84 projection of an oblate spheroid onto the Earth. And they think that they should see drop, right? And as I keep saying, if you were at sea level 0, wherever you are on the sea, and you sailed halfway around the globe, you're still pretty much going to be at sea level 0 because you're at sea level. And the oblate spheroid, which I talked about above, is pretty much, and pretty much, but it isn't actually done, taken from the center of the Earth. And
you see what happened? He was even reading what I wrote off of my presentation, right? And what did he do? Stop. Right here, right up to here, it was exactly the same. But then he stopped reading it and started making shit up. He didn't read this part, right? So what he did, I'm going to show you what he did. This is the toady lying weasel reread, right? Like I said, everything else is the same, right? Up until that globe point right here. Then he added, you're still pretty much going to be at sea level 0 because you're at sea level, and the oblate spheroid, which I talked about above, is pretty much, and pretty much, but it isn't actually done, taken from the center of the Earth. This is what he added, right? So up here, he said, it's taking, from the center of the Earth, my entire argument against him. And then guess what he did? But it isn't actually done from the center of the Earth. You, sir, are a liar, right? And some type of more. Did you think we wouldn't catch this? I mean, give me a break. Are you kidding me, clown show? Continue time 30-30, not you, Nathan. Just let me roll. So we got Beavis the Rumpus. It gives you your elevation from this, not from the center of the Earth, which some people say. Yeah, some people, like your partner, Toady Retard. Remember what he said? Butthead. As I keep saying, if you went at sea level 0, wherever you are on the sea, and you sailed halfway around the globe, it's still 0 because you're still at sea level because it's taken, from the center of the Earth, right? And also the Pontiff Maxima of Retardia, Georgie. All points at the same elevation on a spherical Earth are the same distance away from the center of the Earth. He had a whole presentation talking about this. And this is what we call level, right? From Jose Retard over here. Time 3037. Beavis again, the rumpus. He then, QE then, tries to make a point that some people have said that elevation is from the center of the Earth. Yeah, some people like your partner here, Toady Retard. Again, butthead, Toady. And as I keep saying, if you went at sea level 0, wherever you are on the sea, and you sailed halfway around the globe, it's still 0 because you're still at sea level, because it's taken, from the center of the Earth, right? Your partner said it, Rumpus. You weren't paying attention, were you? And again, the Pontiff Maximus of Retardia, Georgie, the whole presentation he did on Jose's, all points at the same elevation on the spherical Earth are the same distance away from the center of the Earth. Right? This is what we call level. That's who said it. Time 3054. Beavis again, the rumpus. He found one glober that said elevation was relative to the center of the Earth. No. I found 4 bonehead globeheads or globers. Number 1, your partner here, Toady Retard, again, from the center of the Earth, right? The Pontiff Maximus of Retardia, Georgie again, from the center of the Earth. Same elevation, right? Then Lewis Wackett, elevation is the distance away from the center of the Earth from Discord, and also from Discord, Mvrot Screech. Elevation is measured from the center of the Earth. So you got all these boneheads just parroting this nonsense, right? So it's not just one glober. There, Beavis. So, let's continue. 3112. Butthead, Toady Retard. I think he was trying to make the point that I was wrong in saying that because we do live on an ellipsoid, yeah, he was saying that we should expect to see drop. No, I didn't mention the word or even remotely imply drop in my 2-minute presentation that I did at the beginning of this one also. I said that you claimed elevation was measured from the center of the Earth, which you did. And I was using the ellipsoid to show that you and Mr. Magoo's contradictory claims were bollocks. Right? This is too easy. From 3157. This is outstanding. So Beavis the Rumpus, his point, QE's point, was that how can you claim that your elevation is with respect to the center of the Earth? And Toady Retard replied, I'm not, never did. Rumpus, exactly. Oh, really? You even had the presentation up where he said that he did. You just didn't read it and you changed it. Again, butthead Toady Retard. As I keep saying, if you went at sea level 0, wherever you are on the sea and you sailed halfway around the globe, it's still 0 because you're still at sea level because it's taken, from the center of the Earth. Unbelievable. You guys are busted, man. In conclusion, you're not only a Mr. Magoo retard, Toady, you're a demonstrated weasel and a liar. So, the Baltard Triple Ground, congrats! Your parents must be prouder than game roosters, son. Thanks for your ear. Have a nice day.
Just before you take anything down, can you pop back up your claimed picture of the geoid? There we go. And can you just reiterate your point about what's not, what did you call it? Not isometric, equidistant.
Yeah, it's not equidistant. These guys forget that they live on an ellipsoid, right? So they say, yeah, the Earth is an ellipsoid. Jump WGS 84 projection. Well, see, number one, everyone knows you don't measure elevation from the center of the Earth for like 10,000 reasons. But in this specific case, they said the Earth is an ellipsoid. However, if you're at the center of the Earth and you take a measurement to anywhere on the surface of the Earth, right here, let's say we cross here and quarter this like we did. We take a quarter of the Earth. As you can see from the center, any measurement from the center to any point here is going to be a different distance, right? So it's a rubber ruler. You can't use this as your benchmark for elevation. You can't. It's non sequitur. And if you listen to the presentation, or if you watch the presentation, freaking Rumpus has his cartoon up, and what he says, they take their elevation from this wavy red dotted line that he conjured and put on this cartoon. I mean, it's beyond numbskull. And these people think that they're intellectuals? They're freaking Elmer Fudd sophists at best. They should be institutionalized. That's it.
What was the timestamp for when they put up that picture? The wavy lines?
That is a good question, Nathan. 1 second. I'll find it. Too easy to find.
And then I would like to play the clip. I think you said it was 152 something.
Hold on a second. There. Let me make it. Is that good?
Oh, right. Have you got it up?
Yeah.
Hey, okay.
See,
yeah, it's up.
Yeah, this is Rumpus's elevation benchmark line. It just conjured it onto a cartoon. It's freaking preposterous. Right? So, yeah.
And then
so where did you want to go?
The contradiction, you said it was at 1:52, 1 hour 52 something. In your presentation, where they actually make the contradiction and claim they haven't said it's from the center of the earth.
Oh, gotcha. 1 second.
And gigajoule.
It is this one, 3157.
Oh, 3157. Okay, I'm miles off.
System said, how can you then claim that your elevation is with respect to the center of the earth?
I'm not, and I never did.
Exactly. And so this is what he was claiming.
Yeah. Busted. So, I don't know, Toady. You guys just whistle past the graveyard with this stuff. Lie and then just move on, right? I don't know how you can recover from this. It's going to be funny to watch you do it. But, this is it's the quintessential example of the behavior of these retards. And we talked about it the other day when I brought it up. I said, when everyone got real quiet, I thought the stream dropped when I said, please name one globetard that you've known, a legitimate one with integrity, right? None. Zero. I haven't met any, and this is just more confirmation right in your face of the lengths that these people will go. He was even reading my claim, Toady was, right from my presentation, and he diverted away from it's right on screen. I don't know. Maybe Rumpus was changing the screen size so no one could see it or something. I don't know. I mean, how can you not just read what you said? This is a joke, man. We need to can we toe tag twice? Can we, he's twice dead?
Yeah, I don't mind. I'll stick it out as another toe tag, but this is going to be the point that I round out this after show.
Cool. That's it.
So in trying to battle his toe tag, he successfully gave himself another one. Good job, Toady.
And with that, I'm going to say a huge, massive, enormous thank you to everybody who joined us in both the Google Plus Hangouts on Air and Discord servers to make this after show possible. And of course, a massive thank you to all of you in the Nathan Oakley premiering stream for tuning in, hopefully smashing the super chat, liking, commenting, sharing, subscribing, and all that good stuff. Be sure to check out nathanoakley.com and the Flat Earth Debate Forum to keep up to date with the community debate. I've been Nathan Oakley, and I'll see you all in the next video.
Oh, what a day! What a lovely day!